Hello, welcome to my videos and my blog. In this time, I'm going to talk about the NFL 2024 regular season prediction, where finally this week will start the NFL 2024 season, where it will start this Tuesday between the reigning champion team, the Kansas City Chiefs, will play against the Baltimore Ravens, revenge from what happened this last January in the AFC AFC Championship game, where the Kansas City defeated the Baltimore to reach the Super Bowl back-to-back years, and they won it in back-to-back years. So remember that the last season finished with the Super Bowl 58, where the Kansas City Chiefs defeated San Francisco 25-22 in overtime. This game, remember that the San Francisco wanted a revenge of what happened in the Super Bowl 54, where 4 years ago they had lost against the Kansas City in Miami, and this time it wasn't different because the Kansas City Chiefs were a better team, especially in the second half, where the San Francisco were the best team in the first half, but they didn't take advantage of that. The Kansas City Chiefs tied the game in the last quarter. They forced an overtime and they won it 25-22, and the Kansas City Chiefs won his back-to-back title, the third Super Bowl in 4 years and the fourth Super Bowl in the history. And now the Kansas City Chiefs want to make history because they want to win a three-peat, and this will be very difficult, but they are the favorite to win this title. So let's start. Remember that the season will start this next Thursday, September 5th, and the playoffs will finish January 5th, 2025, and the season and the Super Bowl will be played. The Super Bowl 59 will be played the next February 9 in 2024, and the Caesar Superdome Stadium on New Orleans, Louisiana. So basically, the season will start this next Thursday, September 5th, 2024, and will finish with Super Bowl 59 the next February 9, 2025, with the Super Bowl 59 in the Caesar Superdome, New Orleans, Louisiana. So, in my opinion, let's start with the prediction. In this video, I'm going to give my prediction just only of the 2024 regular season, how in my opinion are going to finish the NFL standings, and the teams are going to qualify to the playoffs. And the next January, when the season ends in the January 5th, around the January 6th or 7th, between the first week or the second week of January, when before the playoffs start, I'm going to give my prediction about the playoffs. So let's start with the American Football Conference, with the East Division, where the last year, the last season, the Bills won this division. They won it. They won it. They have the same record that the Dolphins, 11-6, but the Bills won it in the last week of the season because they defeated the Dolphins. The Dolphins, remember that they were leading this division for more than 10 weeks. In the third place where finished the Jets, that they had a lot of aspiration before the season, but remember that Aaron Rodgers got injured in the first game of the season, and the Patriots had a very bad performance, and they finished in the last place, and for that reason Bill Belichick was fired. So I think that this will be almost the same, where in my opinion this division will win it by the Bills. In the second will finish the Dolphins. The third place will be, in my opinion, the Jets, and the Patriots will be the last one. I think that the Bills are going to win this division. I think that the Bills and the Dolphins are going to fight to win this division, but I think that the Bills are better than the Dolphins, and the Jets are going to try to enter to the playoffs. But for me, I think this is not going to be enough, and I think that the Bills and the Dolphins are going to qualify to the playoffs in the West Division. Remember that in the last year, the Chiefs won it by 9 times in the last 11 season. In the second place finished the Raiders. The third place were the Broncos, and the last place were the Chargers. Remember that in this offseason, the Broncos, Raiders, and Chargers got a lot of great players, but I think this is not going to be enough because, in my opinion, the Chiefs are going to win this division by 10 times in the last 10 season. I think that in second place will finish the Chargers, where in my opinion they're going to try to enter to the playoffs, but I think that this won't be enough, and they will be eliminated. In the third place will finish the Broncos, and the last place will be the Raiders. And in the AFC North, in my opinion, this is the best division of the NFL. I think that this will be a tremendous division, in my opinion. Like the last year, I think that the three teams of this division are gonna to qualify to the playoffs. Remember that in the last season, the Ravens won this division with the record 13-4. It was the best record in the AFC and in the league, and they got the first set, but they didn't take advantage because they lost the AFC Championship game against the Kansas City and home. And the second place were the Browns. The third place were my Pittsburgh Steelers, that they did surprise, because remember that they had a lot of problems in the quarterback situation, because they used three quarterbacks, and in the end they qualified to the playoffs, but they were eliminated in the wild card run against the Eagles. And the last place were the Bengals, but the Bengals were finishing in that position, because remember that Joe Burrow got injured in the week 7 or 8, and he didn't play the rest of the season, and for that reason the season was over for them. So I think that this time will be a little different, where in my opinion the Ravens are going to win this division again, a back-to-back years. I think the second place will be the Bengals. They will be very close to the Ravens, but the Bengals are going to finish in the second place. The Browns are going to finish in the third place, and my Steelers, I think they will finish in the last place. But I think that the Browns and the Steelers will be very close. I think that all this team, in my opinion, all this team will have a winning record, and I think that the Ravens, Bengals, and Browns are going to qualify. And I think that unfortunately my Steelers are going to qualify, but I hope that I am wrong in this prediction. In the last division in the AFC, remember in the last year, the Texans did a surprise and they won it with a record of 10-7. They reached the divisional game, but they lost against the the Baltimore Ravens. The second place were the Jaguars, that they were a deception because they were leading this division in the first 7 or 8 weeks, but they closed very bad the season, where they play a very bad football in December, and for that reason they were eliminated, and they were eliminated in the last week of the game. The Colts were finished in the third place. Remember that they lost his quarterback Richardson in the week 5, and he didn't play for the rest of the season. He was a rookie. He was playing a very great football, but he couldn't because he got a surgery. I don't know. I think that about the elbow. So he's gonna to return very great. And the Titans, in my opinion, were the deception because before the season they were my favorite team to win this division, but they couldn't, and they were in the bottom of the division, and for that reason they fired his former head coach, this former player, I don't remember the name. So in this year, I think that the Texans again are gonna to win this division. Again, the second place will be the Jaguars, that they will fight against the Texas to win this division. The third place will be the Colts, and the last team will be the Titans. I think that the Jaguars and the Colts are going to fight to enter to the playoffs, but I think that in my opinion they're going to be eliminated, and the only team that is going to qualify of this division will be the Texans, because they will win the division back-to-back years. And in the NFC National Football Conference, let's start with the East Division. In the East Division, remember that the last season, wait a minute, the Cowboys did a surprise and they won it 12-5. The second place were the Giants. The third place were the second place were the Eagles. The third place were the Giants, and the Commanders were the last place. Remember that the Eagles were the best team until the week 12. Remember they had the best record. They had their record at 10-1, but in the last 2 months, especially in December, they started to lose, and I think that they lost like the 5 of the last 6 games, and they lost the first position. They play in the wild card, and they were humiliated, and they lost against the Buccaneers in the wild card run. So this is a very deception because the Eagles were the favorite to repeat the Super Bowl, but something happened on December. So I think that in this division, I think that the Eagles are going to win this division because they have better team against the Cowboys, and the Eagles Eagles are the favorite teams alongside the 49ers to represent the NFC in the Super Bowl 59. The second place will be the Cowboys, and the third place and fourth place will be Giants and Commanders respectively. I think that these two teams are two of the worst teams in the league, and they won't be able to fight to enter to the playoffs. So I think that the Eagles are going to win this division, and the Cowboys will qualify as a wildcard team. In the West Division, remember that the last year the 49ers won it. The Rams did a surprise because they were a rebuilding team, but they qualified. The Seahawks were the exception because because 2 years ago they were the surprise and they qualified, but this time they couldn't qualify. Yes, and for that reason they fired his head coach, Pete Carroll, and the last team were the Cardinals that they play a very bad football. So, in my opinion, I think that this year will be the same. The 49ers are going to win this division easily. The Rams are going to be the second place. They are going to qualify to the playoffs. The Seahawks and the Cardinals are going to try to enter to the playoffs, but I think that this not going to be happen, and the Seahawks and the Cardinals are going to be eliminated. And in the North Division, remember that the last year the Lions did surprise and they won it easily with the record of 12-5. The Packers finished in the second place. I thought that the Vikings were gonna to win this division or minimum enter to the playoffs, but remember that Kirk Cousins got injured in the week 3 or 4, and in that moment the season was over by the Vikings, and he now sing as a Falcons in the free agents, and the Vikings selected the Michigan quarterback Mike McCarthy, but unfortunately was injured and he's not going to play in this season. And the Bears were the last team. So I think that in this division, again, the Lions are going to win in this division. The Packers are going to finish in the second place and they're going to qualify to the playoffs. I think that again the Lions are going to have an easy division and they're going to win it. The Packers will be the second place and they won't have any problem. I think that the Vikings and the Bears are going to finish in the third and fourth place respectively. The Vikings because they won't have the good quarterback to try to win games, and the Bears will again repeat the last place. But I think that this time the Bears will be one of the funniest teams to watch to play, because Caleb Williams is going to play the number 1 pick in this round. I think that the Bears are going to improve a lot, but I think that this is not the time. I think that in 2 or to 5 years the Bears are going to be competitive, but not this time. And in the last division, in the South Division, remember that the last year the Buccaneers won it. This division with a record 9-8. Remember that the Buccaneers started very bad the season, but in November and December they recovered and they won it. The Saints finished with the same record, but they lost it because remember that they were fighting but they couldn't. The Falcons, that they were leading this division in the first 2 months in September and October, they again lost in the last month. They had an easy lead, but they lost a lot of games, and for that reason this cost the job to his former head coach Mr. Arthur Smith, and he was fired, but he was seen as a Steelers head coach, and let's see if he can improve the running game. And the last place were the Panthers with the worst record. So I think that in this division the Saints are gonna to win it. I think that this will be between the Saints and the Buccaneers. I think that this will be very close, but I think because this is the worst division in the league, I think that only the teams that the win this division is going to qualify to the playoffs. The Buccaneers are going to fight against the Saints, but it's not going to be enough. The Falcons and the Panthers Panthers are going to improve his football level, but I think that this won't be enough, and they will finish in the third and fourth place respectively. So, in my opinion, in the AFC conference, the teams that will qualify will be the Bills and the Dolphins, the Chiefs, the Ravens, Bengals and Browns, and the Texans. And in the NFC, the teams that will qualify will be Eagles and Cowboys, 49ers and Rams, Lions and Packers, and the Saints. So this is my prediction of what I think is going to happen this season. But remember that let's see let's see how many teams I am right in the end of the season. This in the first day of January. Let's see, but the first, let's enjoy this season because it's gonna to be amazing. So in this video, I talk about the NFL 2024 regular season prediction. This is all for tonight. See you next video. Gibran.